local persons invest in these small boutique hotels, this island will grow tremendously. If you consider a family of four, let's say you have a family of four, 10 families of about 4 persons relocate to Crooked Island. That's tremendous growth for the island of Crooked Island. But the challenge with that is finding gainful employment.
But living in the hurricane belt in the Bahamas presents a unique set of vulnerabilities. Hurricane Joaquin 3 years ago proved just how easily life can be interrupted. Alcet Delabo operates Sunset Beach in Majors Key. The widow and 17-year resident is still rebuilding.
Things were looking up before Hurricane Joaquin. The Hurricane Joaquin came and just broke up a lot of stuff, and we had to go back to the beginning. I don't know if you came and saw this property after Hurricane Joaquin. This was as if a tornado had walked through and just dug up the place. And so that was a big setback. But I'm praying that God would be merciful and we wouldn't have any hurricane for another 100 years so we could catch ourselves again. Because it takes years to accumulate these things, and then in a day or two it's all gone. It'll take years to get them back.
Crooked Island was devastated along with Auckland and Long Island. Crooked Island, since Hurricane Joaquin in 2015, a lot of the roads were damaged. Actually, the roads actually separated certain areas within the settlements, within the communities, and it was impossible. So the government at that time, they did some infrastructural work in the Southern Bahamas, and a lot of roads now are being built. There are quite a bit of seawalls which are being built in in the Seaview area, and mostly out in the eastern area, Majors Key and further up Thompson's area. And what we are seeing is that once those roads would have been completely built, and they're still in the process, we can see that it's going to open the doors for investment, it's going to open the doors for development, because persons, once we have the infrastructural things in place, the roads, the telephone, the light, the power, it gives an invitation and it gives more of an appetite for persons to come. So
it's been very slow, and seeing, we on these islands, it's almost like we're almost like forgotten.
We have the 8-man strength. It's a natural Viagra, so you don't need the pills. We have the plant like stiff cough. We got Love Vine. We have 5 Finger, and a lot of other herbal teas that's very good for you.
To take a half a day or a full day to go with the guide and clients, and to see what it is to be a guide, and to see what is required of the clients and the guides to make a bone fishing day a more successful and lucrative business.
Crooked Island is world renowned for its bone and deep sea fishing. Little wonder most of the island's tourism is based around seasonal fishing trips. On any given day, local eateries like Gibson's Restaurant are where you will find tourists before or at the end of a day of fishing. The native cuisine is cooked to order, and the chef always willing
my
to
cousin, my
accommodate
first
special
cousin.
requests. It's what visitors come here for, a home away from home. It's a snapshot into how the people of Crooked Island make a living off of tourists who visit. The small, quaint, one-on-one interaction is what keeps guests coming back. Well, that and good food. Just up the street in Landrell Point, Eileen Moss runs the Casuarina Pines Villas. In 2000, she began operating the 7-villa property, attracting guests from the US, Europe, and as unique as Alaska.
No, a lot of time persons believe like, hey, when they hear about Crooked Island, it's so out of the way, it's so far south that, hey, we don't think there's much there to offer. But you know, I just want to let the world know that there's a lot happening here in Crooked Island, and you can have accommodation, car rental, you know, with luxury service. So not because we are far south, that means that, you know, we don't have what it takes. Because a lot of persons, when they come down, they're very surprised and shocked to see what we have down here. But you know, we try to make it best because, you know, we travel a lot, and when we travel, we see things, so we try our best.
Has the potential, and I would want to say and would like to say at this time that I believe anything that you put into this island business-wise can go, because the island is in dying need of uplifting or some progress. Now we know with that comes challenges, but you know, once you have progress going on, there's going to be a little challenging, a little setback. And then another thing we have going on for us is the mail boat. We have the mail boat that comes here, and it's unreliable because sometimes when you're looking for it to come, it don't come, it doesn't show up. And so if we can have regular schedule on time and everything is working in that area, more airlift, I think we can go, the island can strive.
And the potential for tourism growth is evident. Sharon Scavala operates the only boutique and gift shop in Crooked Island.
Well, the need is here because I'm the only store here in Crooked, and everybody needs a little of everything. Okay, when I first started, I only started with the gift items, like souvenir gift items, and then after I saw the need for clothing and perfume and bath and body lotion and spray, and so, you know, time after time I just add 1 or 2 items, and that's where I'm at today.
She also operates the very successful CNS car rental, and business couldn't be better.
Extremely good, because, you know, for Landrill, you have people coming off the yachts, you have guests coming in every week, and so I'm mostly catered to tourists.
For those not so adventurous, Marcia Gibson operates Gibson's Taxi, which operates as a school bus and tourist taxi.
They enjoy the people, they enjoy us. You know, the warm hugs, the personality, you know, the friendship, you know. They enjoy all our beautiful scene and our fishing and all of that, the food, but most of all, they enjoy their company of being with us, with the natives.
The land-loving tourist can feast off of a diverse offering of historical and nature sites. Mackay Bluff, home to 15 caves, provides the ultimate hiking experience into the bushes and across rocky terrain into Generator Cave.
Are you going to Generator Cave? Because you have a generator in here, and when hurricane time, then everybody's going to shut the generator off. The generator licking. Some of the people who is well known to him, they come here, shelter from hurricane. They've had a block so high, the block used to protect the house from the storm breeze and stuff from the hurricane. So person two was cool with them. They come chill with them, shelter the hurricane. And generator was there. So you're watching TV, you listen to music while everybody. Okay, this is we call Mackay Bluff Cave. And in here you have ratbats flying around. You can see them flying around. And then you have what they call guano ratbat droppings. That's him right there, see? That's for fertilizer and stuff. Oh, okay. This cave, as you can see, used to house the generator for the guys who own the house on the hill. There's somebody right there.
A little down is the Cave of Carvings, some possibly dating as far back as the golden age of piracy.
These are all ancient markings from back in the pirate days. If you notice, you see a skull right here. Oh, yeah. You see another one up here. And this is a drawing of a gun, okay? Okay. And then you see another one over here. You see an X, a cross. You see a marking right here. Head and body.
No treasure map.
Well, we saw, I saw there were some arrows pointing into this direction. One arrow pointing from that direction. One arrow pointing from here.
Clearly, this is an old marking too.
And one of the more breathtaking sights of them all, Battle Cave.
You go there. The bird nest. The horse, the bird nest.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah.
D'Angelo Knowles operates Quack Tours, a personal guide to tourists wishing to enjoy the island adventures. And as long as you're up for the challenge, he will get you there, as we found out on our trek to the ruins of the Moss Plantation.
This is the Moss Plantation. This is the pillar here is made in 1795. This is a slave plantation. I searched in archives and I found out some stories about it. There's the person who owned this plantation was Charles and Kate Moss. They had numerous more slaves here. They went to prison for 3 years. They flogged one of their slave women and put her in a sweatbox for a considerable amount of time. And the plantation owner from the Farquharson plantation came to visit here and heard about it. And they had a court for that. And they sentenced her to 3 years in prison. The lady who they flogged, she ended up taken over the plantation until they returned from prison.
Something about it. Yeah, something about you just escaped the word. Ah, okay. Dilly tree? Yeah. So I think they find where the Queen Jewelers in the middle of the rock. That's what they have about. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, this is what this is all about, man. Rediscovering our history, our heritage, and I'm just happy and proud to be a part of this, man. You know, thank you guys for coming out and enjoying this with me. We got Turtle Sound on the left, and we got the beautiful seas and ocean. We have a very intriguing historical perspective, Crooked Island. The historical sites are tremendous in terms of if it's secured, if it's made accessible, people can utilize this to encourage more visitors to come, not just the bonefish or the sport fishermen, but also the those who are interested in the historical site, as well as sometime back before Hurricane Joaquin, we used to have visitors come who were just interested in bird watching, who were interested in they used to go searching for like the reptiles and the butterflies and all of that. And so if we could put all of this together in a package, as well as our historical sites, we could actually have visitors coming year round, and the whole community will benefit from it.
These cultural, historical, and heritage sites have even greater potential, but access and preservation are ongoing challenges.
And we actually cleaned the pathway going into these historical state caves. And of course, you would have an opportunity to go to Mackay's Caves. It's by the airport. What we did, we we first energize the community and we let them know the importance of trying to preserve and restore this for not only visitors, but for their families, even for them personally. So we went on a campaign and we started to clean these sites out, we started to preserve them, and we also want to continue that campaign.
You can't take it over, you wash it off, wash it off with fresh water, you put it right in your pot, you boil it, and when it's cherry. How you know when it's finished? If you see you boil it, because you usually boil it a couple of times. If you boil it over and over, you see it. The red getting a little bit thin, then you know that one's finished. You get another piece. Put it in there.
It's where we are. If you can wake up in 10 years and realize it can be too late. I mean, Grammy them then gone. You know, they're gone. I mean, how many of us have children here now? How many of us have children that live here on the island? No, seriously, I want you to raise your hand because this is important. If you have children here, raise your hand. That ain't even half of the room. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, you guys are here on the ground, your hands are in the dirt. We know we know what you're doing. And, you know, we want to come home. But we have to have something to come home to provide for our children the same way that you have provided for us.
And I got to pay for a tour. I might be turned off like, whereas if you come together, package it, and say, this one price, you get 3 days stay, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Which one is more ideal? Which one's more? The package. However, it can take us to come together and say, hey, guess what? I know how to do your thing as good as you. And that's fine, because God made us do separate. Let's come together, form this thing. Defense communities, let's not just keep it all along Launch Point. Let's mix it up. There are people who have great products, Launch Point.
And then sharing in a vision of a greater island that is more than just a placeholder on a map, possibly a cruise ship port of call.
So when me and Bobby sat down, this was about a year ago, Bobby came to me, we sat in my office and we was talking, he said, Nico, you know, I really want to go home. And I felt I'd be connected because I want to come home. You know, that's just what it is. So we sat down, we had a conversation, I said, okay, Bobby, I don't know how we can do this, but we can do it, right? We sat there, we prayed. That was the first thing that we did. And Bobby came up with this thing and he wanted to do this in 5 years and I said, no. If we're gonna do this, we can start now. We ain't gonna start in 5 years, we can start now. In 5 years I'm gonna be home. I ain't trying to be starting in 5 years. But like I said, everything takes a step. Now the same way that we came together to do this is the same way that we need all of you to come together to move forward.
What the meeting was excellent. Excellent.
Anything you think for me though?
Oh man, yes man, we laid this advertisement a long time ago. And we are living by faith. Faith got us here. Well, it was okay, you know. It's very informative. I was able to get something together so I could be looking forward to it.
Oh, that's a great meeting, man.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Positive stuff.
It's good. A lot of information.
Alright, good stuff.
It was great, man. It's very encouraging.
And I appreciate all the input. I hope people encourage and support these young people and what was said. It's a good plan for the growth and development of Crooked Island. Everything was well put together. Tell me what you mean.
It was very inspiring, you know. I hope people actually support these men because they're really good from Crooked Island. It was really positive and inspiring.
But before the dreams and expectations of these men and others like them can happen, there are still some serious impediments.
In fact, the government is mandated to provide services throughout the land and breadth of the Bahamas. Whether it's a small island, whether it's a Ragged Island, we go on and go wherever it is. And what we discovered here in Crooked Island is that the boat service comes in once a week. And there is a particular week in the month when the boat doesn't come. So basically we have 4 weeks in a month. 1 week in that month, the boat doesn't come. And when it does, there's a backlog in goods and services and supplies, and persons find themselves working on what they would have received a week ago, have to stretch that for 2 weeks. So that really seems to be a challenge in terms of having produce, in terms of having supplies, and in terms of having products coming to the island.
No proper docking at all. The boat, if you were to drive around the corner, they just let the ramp down on the hard surface right out to the sea, and they do a roll-on, roll-off cargo for the island.
And why is that an issue?
If the weather's rough, the boat can't dock, they'll have to go straight into Auckland or bite in the back of Long Key until the weather allows them.
Sometimes there were persons who, because presently the Bahamas Air flight is servicing Cricket Island and Auckland's. Auckland's being our neighboring island, our neighboring sister. It's only about 5 minutes away by plane and about 10 minutes by ferry. But that plane, that has to service both Cricket Island and Auckland's. And normally there's only a certain quota for the amount of persons that's coming in. Then too, what tends to be a challenge is that depending on the weight of the plane, they may go to Auckland's first, let off, and then come here, or they may come here first, let off, and then go Auckland's. So certain persons, they're not allowed to get on the flight because of that.
If you look at Bahamas Air, they come here twice a week, and there's always challenge for airlift for the passengers. We have where they cannot land or take off with no more than 35 passengers from the Colonel Hill Airport. And that is a challenge in terms of persons wanting to move to and from Crooked Island.
It's a challenge getting anglers here at times because, you know, for the island, we only have Bahamas Air, which is twice per week, which is Wednesday and Saturday. So it poses a challenge because most of our anglers really don't want to stop into Nassau. They want to just come over and experience their islands.
I believe the flights are a hindrance to visitors because they have to overnight in Nassau before coming over here, so it becomes more expensive. If they were able to fly directly, you know, just come to Nassau and just take another plane and come to the island, it would be good for them. And I think that is one of the things that keep us back.
At least, okay, for now, Bahamas Air, I noticed they would only bring in like 25 passengers because of the short runway. But if we have an extension of runway, then they'll be able to accommodate much more. And even a jet, who knows?
You could use assistance in terms of Ministry of Works with the water. We know that there are some areas that doesn't have the potable drinking water. So if we could use this interview probably to assist us in terms of reaching out, then that would do quite well for us here on the island. And of course, once those things are in place, it really would open the door for more development, more growth, for even the descendants to come back, and even for visitors, guests, tourists to invest in Cricket Island.
Right now, the issue of a reliable potable supply of water for the island is a great challenge. Some efforts are underway to facilitate this, but it's limited to just, I think, two of the major settlements, which is Colonel Hill and Cabbageville. And so if you could have that extended throughout the island, that would be a great benefit. The other issue is the road, they are just repairing it in the bad spots, so to speak. And so if we could have the type of road infrastructure that they're using throughout the island, that would be a tremendous boost as well for the community of Crooked Island.
He's a symbol of the British Empire. And what's that doing?
have different businesses that we don't have, you know, or just come and build a vacation home and come and spend a little money with the natives here on the island. You know, they can give back a little, have a little more tourists comes in, you know, on a regular basis.
Marcia Gibson shares a view held by many Crooked Islanders, old and young.
I think that if it, you know, had more employment on the island, more of the younger people would have stayed. And because when I started, I had a lot of young people around, but when they reached school leaving age, they all left and then went to Nassau.
It's a decades-old cycle that has left a population of less than 300.
I am hoping that if things were to pick up, some of those Crooked Islanders would come home, who want to come home, and try to get employment. And that would be a help. Because many of the students who graduate from high school, they go to Nassau and, you know, some of them don't go to college. And so they're probably right in Nassau working, you know, doing all sorts of other jobs that they could find. And maybe willing to come home if they can get even similar type jobs, and similar type pay. They wish to come home.
Because there's no jobs. So they cannot stay because there's nothing here to do. It's a sad thing. But if we could only have just one or two small investment, we don't need anything big because, you know, with the bigger investment, then we'll have more crime. And we don't want to get like some of the islands or even like Nassau. We want to keep it sweet, like sweet Crooked Island.
And that's a commonly held perspective. Controlled and small developments that will complement this unspoiled habitat. The rapid developments on some other islands and the environmental damage that has ensued has not gone unnoticed by the people of this southern jewel.
I would like to see Crooked Island come to a point where we have more persons come back home to reside. You know, we need some more development, but we don't want it overflux like the other islands, wherein you got persons coming to your island and you don't know who they are. You know, because right now, you know everybody on the island. And you can imagine you get so much development until you got the influx of people coming in and you don't know who is who. We wouldn't want to see that here, but you know, we'd like a little bit more development so a person will have an opportunity to work and support their family and to live comfortably.
We are encouraging persons to try and group themselves to invest in the fishing industry as well as the small hotel industry. And if we could have some of our own people utilizing or investing in these areas, I believe the growth potential for the island will be tremendous. Because right now everybody is just dependent on central government or local government.
In a few years I would like for Crooked Island to really be the gem of the Southern Bahamas. I think it has the potential to do it. Crooked Island has the beauty, it has the good attitude of the persons, it has the land, it has the scenery, it is picturesque. All we need is that airlift services, we need the mailboat services, we need some improvement with the telecommunication system, and I would say that Crooked Island could really be the gem.
For an island that holds so much promise, it would seem like a dock and more airlift are an easy fix. But for the generation of Robert Gibson Jr. and Antonico Gibson, these problems are symptomatic and a manifestation of decades of neglect in this part of the country. Providing essential services for a handful of residents will come with a hefty price tag. But as these men and many others like them have come to realize, the only way to keep their island home alive is to throw a real and tangible lifeline. For them, Forever Crooked Island is more than just a movement. It's the key to the future survival of this place.
Yeah. The last time I was here in Landreau Point, it was in the days following Hurricane Joaquin. A lot has happened since then. The island, for the most part, has fully recovered from that hurricane, and the folks here are hoping that, much like the hurricane recovery, they can make an economic recovery. They tell me that they want Crooked Island to take its rightful place, to have the descendants, residents, inhabitants come back and really make this place a true island home for the many who have come through here. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed this edition of On the Record. As you can tell, I worked really hard to bring you this show. And we certainly hope that the next time we're in Crooked Island, we're going to tell a much different story. Hope you've enjoyed our show, and see you next time.